Hey guys, hopefully this will be a short review of the Ryobi DP103L benchtop drill press. I needed a drill press. I have this project idea that I'm going to be working on. Basically it's an ammo box and I'm going to make it specific to caliber. It's going to hold 100 rounds. And I needed something to drill fairly consistent holes in the inside of the box where each round is going to live, so to speak, or to be stored. So I needed a drill press, and my God, there's nothing available out there. This was almost my last resort. This is my third drill press. I had an old Craftsman cast iron, weighed 23 tons or something like that. Incredible drill press. Accurate, sturdy, quiet, powerful. I sold that quite a few years ago. When I was in Arizona, I had the Porter Cable drill press that's still very available today, especially at Lowe's. And the chuck sucked. The chuck wobbled big time. And I took it back, got another one. Basically, it was the same way. So I invested in a new chuck and a new arbor, which helped substantially, but it still wasn't perfect. But I was able to live with it. So as I said, really recently, like the other day, I needed to get this project rolling, so I got this Ryobi. I don't need a super heavy duty drill press for what I do these days. So they say this is a 10-inch press, and maybe I'm ignorant, but I'm not quite sure where the 10-inch portion of this comes into, because with the work table all the way lowered to the bottom of the chuck is 12.5 inches. The range of motion of the chuck itself is 2 inches. And I'll be honest with you, it's my bad. If I would have realized that when I bought it, I probably would have shied away from this and spent the extra money on the Porter Cable and hoped that they upgraded their arbor chuck tolerances. So this was $169 plus tax. The Porter Cable, by the way, is $489, but that's a floor drill press. And kind of in this shop, I don't really have the room. The space that I have left is going to be occupied by a bandsaw that I've not yet bought. And I'm kind of out of room at that point. So anyway, the operator's manual, as they call it, is kind of vague. Safety rules, symbols, electrical, glossary of terms, features, assembly, operation. I'm a picture guy. If I see a picture, I could build a space shuttle. If I have to read it, I have to rely on somebody else's interpretation of, what it is, and I don't really like that. So basically, when you get this drill press, this floor stand is detached. This piece here, let me flip this screen around and make sure you can see what I'm pointing at. Okay, cool. This piece here is held down by these 3 bolts. You have to attach this. Then you have to put this on, which means you have to remove this ring. They do give you the Allen wrenches that fit the single set screw on this ring. There should be 2 in my opinion, at least 2, but there's only 1. So you have to loosen this ring up, take it off of this shaft, put your table down, crank it down, and the handle has to be attached as well. But again, they give you the Allen key to do that. So you put your table on, then you put this ring back on, and tighten it down. Now when I first did that, I thought, seems kind of flimsy, and it was. This gear was extremely loose, so you have to apply quite a bit of pressure here and tighten it down at the same time, doink, to make sure that this is tight. Once you do that, obviously you can see how accurate this is. Obviously you can crank it up and down. It does have here the lock to tighten this up with. So once you get that fairly tight, and it doesn't look very convincing as far as durability goes, to me anyway, but once you get that locked down, it does tighten the table up pretty well. It's a very small table, by the way. The table is 6.5 by 7 7/16. So it is a small table. Once you get this put together, then you can put your drill head, motor, this assembly here on top of this shaft. Look inside of the hole where that mounts, because I didn't look, I just slid it on and it wouldn't come all the way down. So I took it back off, looked inside, and one of the wire connections with a wire nut was protruding into the hole that slides on top of this shaft. So I had to move that out of the way, then it slid down the way it's supposed to. So with that being said, it's got a light. I guess if you're working in the dark, it's not super bright. And it does have the Laser X. You can adjust this to match the center, so your Laser X is correct. And on the laser itself, you can see if I put my finger over the hole, it blocks that side, which is the left side. And there is a little adjustment here that you can turn to get your, I don't know if you can see the laser in the video, but you can turn it to get your laser to line up where the center should be. On the other side, it doesn't turn. So your adjustment is limited to the left side looking at the drill from the front. I'm going to take the camera off of the tripod so I can show you. Now here is the adjustment for the belt. You turn this to loosen the motor, and the motor will now slide backward, you know, depending on how much you loosen that, so that you can change the belts up top to change the spindle speed. Make sure that this was loose when I first got it, and the motor vibrated like all get out. So make sure that's tight once your belt is snugged up. This does not turn. I mean, it does, but you don't have to turn it to open it. And this was a little disappointing. The pulleys are nylon or some kind of plastic. So if you're looking for metal pulleys, don't go with this model. It does give you a guide as to where to put the belt for, you know, various speeds. And it appears that the minimum speed is 630 RPM and the maximum speed is 3050. The handles for raising and lowering the chuck are separate. I mean, they come with the package, of course, but you have to install them. You just basically screw them into here. It does come with a flat area so you can tighten them up. It comes with the chuck. It's a 1/2 inch chuck, by the way. And it comes with the key and a place to store the key. It's fairly quiet, and I was very surprised that the chuck is actually fairly accurate. as far as wobble goes, tolerance, however you'd like to call it. And I don't have a dial indicator here to check this with. But I know for a fact this bit is extremely accurate. This is more expensive bits. And using a 90-degree square, you can kind of see that there's not a truckload of wobble there. If I can hold the camera steady enough. So surprisingly enough, the chuck is pretty darn accurate. It obviously does have the cutouts, so if you wanted to mount a vise here, you could. I do have one. Probably won't need it on this little guy. The floor plate does have two cutouts here, and obviously these ribs, if you wanted to bolt it down to a tabletop. What I'm going to wind up doing with this is, because it's on my miter saw station, is I'm going to get some flat drawer slides, and I'm going to mount it on a piece of 3/4 ply with some slides so that I can store it in the back where it'll be out of the way, but I can pull it out here when I need it. Now, I'm kind of a DeWalt guy, and to the best of my knowledge anyway, they don't make a boatload of drill presses. So in a pinch, this is what I went with, and probably my biggest disappointment is the 2-inch travel. I've already drilled some holes in lumber, some soft and hardwoods, no problem. Haven't done any metal yet. Probably should have done that for this test purpose, for this video, but I didn't. Have no complaints with drilling through lumber. It actually does drill pretty darn straight, and for $169, I mean, I know used electric motors online. I've been looking for one. I'm going to build a 2-inch belt grinder, and I've seen motors that are, you know, 1/3 horse, 1/2 horse for upwards of $200. So I guess with all that you get and the accuracy of the chuck, which was really the big deal for me, yeah, I think it's probably worth it. Did I get a fluke with the chuck accuracy? I don't know. It's the first Ryobi product I've ever owned, so I don't have a lot of experience with how well their items are built. But yeah, I thought I'd do this quick review and share it with you guys. I know it's tough to get things these days with shipping and inflation and everything else. It's tough, but for $169, you know, again, plus tax, I don't think that it's a bad deal at all. And longevity, unfortunately, I can't help with that. I don't know how well it's going to hold up, but we'll see, because I plan on keeping this until I need something bigger, or maybe this will work out just fine. But all right, guys, today is, what is today? Saturday, December 4th. So you guys have a great weekend, and we'll talk soon. Take care now.